What they didn't tell us about getting older, part 2, dedicated to my good friend Pete Pizzigotti. So Pete and I graduated high school together in 1959. A few days ago, we were sitting around in Carlsbad talking, and he had a stroke. I had a heart attack when I was 61, prostate cancer when I was 65, labile hypertension, had some stents put in 8 months ago and 2 coronary arteries, another stent put in a month ago. He had this recent stroke. He has tendons that aren't in his shoulders. It was bone on bone. We were just sitting here talking. We were there talking about this. And I said, hey, Pete, nobody ever told us about this, did they? Oh, did they ever tell you about it? No. He said, I didn't. Nobody told me about it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give a talk about what they never told us about getting older. And I'm going to dedicate it to you, Pete. So Pete, my dear friend, hopefully you're watching this. This is dedicated to you from the conversation we were having. My compadre, graduate together in 1959 from Walt Whitman High School together. So, there are so many wonderful things about getting old. Let me get the balance of that. And it was really Joanne who asked me, it was Joanne or Diana, one or the other said to me, are you going to talk about positive things as well? And I said, oh, thank you for saying that, because I was going to go on saying there was this, that, and the other thing that goes wrong. But yeah, I don't want to block out to tell you, my best bench press in my 20s was 255. When I was 65, with prostate cancer, I bench pressed 365. It was a world record, and I took the title also strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and weight at 65. Fortunately, the cancer hadn't spread, so I'm fine. It didn't metastasize, so I was good to go after a prostatectomy. Then at 70, I set a world record on a power pull-up. We hung 140 pounds from a chain belt, and I did a pull-up. You can't find many guys of any age to do it. Not many. There are people in the world that can, but you can see guys that were bigger than me, more muscular than me, whatever. They couldn't do a pull-up with 140 pounds hanging on them. Then when I was 70 years old, I became a world champion bodybuilder. And I like to tell people this. This is the truth. Like I said, I'm 82 years old. I've been in practice as a psychologist, California and other places for over 50 years now. I didn't know what I was doing until I was 70. I mean, I didn't know what I was really doing. I mean, I was doing things, hopefully more good than harm. But I really didn't truly understand what I was doing until I was 70 years old. Thank God I lived that long, because that's how I've been able to help all my wonderful, beautiful people that are here now, being able to help you, because God allowed me to stay here, to bring you this, particularly my teaching, the teachings that came to me about honor, the commandments of honor, the bridge, the laws of honor, the supremacy of honor code, the whole system, the books, the videos, over 900 videos, 95 books, all bringing that reality into myself, number one. I have to teach it to me, living that life, and bringing it to you, and seeing beautiful transformations in so many wonderful, wonderful human beings. That's my good privilege to serve, who come to me as patients, but really are just amazing people, truly. So, in terms of the positive, it's been a beautiful journey getting older, just beautiful. Now, as you get older, stuff starts growing on you. You get things, I'm going to talk about myself as a case history, but many people are in this situation. You get things growing on your skin. You say, gee, I wonder if that's a cancer. It looks pretty suspicious. You go to your dermatologist. The good news is it's not cancer. They spray it with some a spray that freezes it and it falls off. That's the good news. But I did have that cancer at 65. But honestly, a lot of the problems you can have as you get older, a lot of problems I had as I was getting older, I did to myself. That cancer I had, which thank God after prostatectomy I was cancer-free, I was drinking a lot of milk, because milk has all kinds of protein, calcium, really good for you, but the casein protein causes breast cancer, it causes prostate cancer. Now, I did that out of ignorance. When I was 61, I caused my own heart attack. I was just eating a lot of food, whatever it took to just get big. A lot of it was unhealthy. Triggered my own heart attack. And then from the way I was eating, I went into labile hypertension in my later 70s. I never even heard of heart attacks, but I never heard of labile hypertension, where your blood pressure starts shooting up and down. 1 minute it would be 110, then it could shoot up to 210 within a matter of 20 minutes. Boom, boom, I never heard of it. Then when I had the prostatectomy, I looked at my kidneys. I had 6 bleeding cysts on my kidneys. He said, oh, it's not a problem. We'll just keep an eye on it. It's never been a problem. But you got stuff growing on you. Like those 6 bleeding cysts on my kidneys, just for example. You'll find things start to grow on you. And then I've had lipid cysts. You get these little growths, lipids called lipid cysts. It's fatty tissue. Had the back of my head taken out twice. I have one over here. I had a sebaceous cyst on my back with oil gland. I never heard of sebaceous cysts, lipid cysts, never heard of it. It's not dangerous, but if it gets infected or whatever, you want to get it cut out with the whole membrane. You want to get that out. I've heard of kidney stones, gallstones. I never heard of salivary stones. So I remember when I was with my family, we're in Vegas, I'm eating at a hotel, and the whole neck starts swelling up. So what the heck was I'm eating? So now some would swell up. And after years went by, I started really hurting a lot. Well, it turns out I had stones growing in the salivary gland. I had to get the salivary gland cut out. I never heard of, and I'm sure you never heard of, stones in the salivary gland. Had that stuff going on. So stuff starts growing, stones, cysts. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, I had an x-ray, and then I had to go for MRI because they found a little cyst on the pancreas, so they had to rule out pancreatic cancer. So I went a bunch of tests, blood work, everything else was negative, no pancreatic cancer. But so a little cyst was growing there. So you start getting little things growing. Most of it's nothing. It's going to happen to you, your loved ones, probably your parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents already had these things. And the stuff, so I'm here to give you a heads up. Stuff's going to start growing on you. Most of it's not a problem. Stuff's going to start growing on you. Some of it you're going to see, you'll say, gee, what is that? And you're going to get concerned because you don't know what it is. Not knowing what you're dealing with causes apprehension. I had something growing on my leg one time. I said, this looks really menacing. And so I got an appointment. It was nothing. Just froze it off. Then I had something on my nose. It was nothing. Well, it turns out the guy said that could turn to cancer. I cut it out. It was okay. I mean, stuff grows on you. Now, the truth of the matter is that the aging process goes on, and you're actually creating your golden years now. At 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, you're creating what it's going to be like when you get my age, 82. You're creating it right now. You might think you're getting away with eating all the garbage. I thought I was getting away with it. I really did. You're not. I'm still, even though I've got a clean diet, clean living in terms of exercise, eating, thoughts, everything, for 14 years now, I'm still dealing with what I created earlier in my life, including cardiovascular disease, where the plaque still builds up, even though I know how to keep my blood work really well. So I can keep all the parameters, cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, homocysteine, C-reactive protein, apolipoprotein B, testosterone, all of it. I know how to get those numbers really good. By natural means, for the most part, natural means. And even with all my knowledge, and everything was happening. 8 months ago, I had 2 coronary arteries, get 90% occluded. That's heart attack levels. 90% occluded by plaque building up. There are times when the natural approach, as powerful as it is, and a big believer in that I am, there are times we need allopathic medicine. I'm never going to go off the statin again, because it turns out, they used to say if you kept your LDL, which is the so-called bad cholesterol, under 70, you won't build up plaque. If your cholesterol is under 150, your LDL is under 70, you won't build up plaque. Well, I kept it 70 to 80 and built up the plaque. Now they're saying My cardiologist said keep it under 50. When I was reading in Life Extension, the really up-to-date allopathic medicine, really very reliable information, they said keep it to 40. So I'm taking 20 milligrams of Lipitor, which is a very small dosage, and ezetimibe, 10 milligrams, which no doctor even talks about that. Unfortunately, one of my doctors told me about it, Dr. McGuire. And so I'm keeping my LDL down to around the low 40s. So presumably I'm not building up more plaque in the arteries. Now, when you build up plaque, nobody told you this. It's plaque. And nobody's told you this. What kills you is not the plaque. What causes a stroke or heart attack, not the plaque. Typically, it's the rupture of the plaque. The plaque breaks off. And then what happens is blood platelets come there as if it's a wound inside the endothelial cells. And it's the blood platelets that coagulate right there, blocks the blood from going. You're not getting oxygen to your heart or to your brain, you get a heart attack. So you don't want the plaque rupturing. So there's an herb called Arterial Protect that has gotocolin and pycnogenol in it that makes the covering on the plaque harder so it doesn't rupture. Now, statin drugs will do that also. But if you can stay off of statin drugs, it's better because it raises blood sugar, predisposes you to muscle injuries and tendon injuries. I was on Crestor, then I went to Lipitor. I went off of it for a number of years because I started getting tendon tears. That's another thing. No one told me or told us the tendons could start going, particularly if on a statin drug. So my tendon totally tore off. I'm a weightlifter, that adds to it. Tore off here, so my bicep is down here now. I have a supraspinatus tear, so my bench press is pretty low now, even though I was a world champion. Although I have a lot of knowledge, I can help other people guide you on how to achieve great achievements on the bench press. So no one told me about tendons tearing. When I grew up weightlifting, I was 14 years old. I had my basement, so I had my weights there, about 110 pounds of weights. 14 years old, I had a little bench built for me. Had a little magazine, a guy, I think it's Abramson, I think his name was. Anyhow, looked really, I never saw a guy look so good. I said, wow, I'd like to look like that. So he did 3 sets, 10 reps. That's what we knew about back then. Now, while I was growing up, we all knew we needed protein. You want to grow muscle? Have protein. By the way, muscle is now considered a longevity organ. It not only looks good and gives you strength, for women it just gives you a firm look and gives you strength. It's a longevity organ. It actually gives out certain hormones that help you live longer. That's recent knowledge. I only found that out in the last few years. So when I was growing up, protein was the thing. So I would eat any kind of protein I could get. Drink milk. Nobody said anything bad about milk. Ate hot dogs, hamburgers. Nobody said it was filled with these sodium nitrates and all kinds of saturated fats. Nobody said anything about it. I just thought, I'm getting protein. That's what you want for your muscles. So my muscles grew, but so did my plaque on my arteries. So you want a clean protein. You want to either get a lean protein, grass-fed, organic, beef once in a while, not too often. Get your fish like salmon, and you can take a protein powder. You can even take creatine. A lot of things. You can take your branched chain amino acids as pills, which has the lysine, which has the L-leucine, isoleucine, L-valine in it. These are, and the L-leucine is the most powerful amino acid in the world in terms of anabolic. It'll make your muscles grow, stimulates muscle growth. Well, I don't even know if we knew that when I was coming up. And that knowledge is out here now. But if I didn't tell you this, probably you aren't going to find that out. What no one told me, and I had to find out through my own investigation, is the 2 kinds of muscles you have. Two particular types you need to know about. You heard about getting a pump, you're lifting muscle, you're doing a lot of reps. Well, it builds up, your muscle looks pretty good, but then you don't work out for a few days, it shrinks because it's building up the sarcoplasm, which is the energy fluid around the muscle. It's got the mitochondria in there, glycogen stores. So you do a lot of reps, 15, 20 reps, you'll get the sarcoplasm. But when you're going heavy weights, where you have to struggle to get 3 to 5 reps, where you're struggling for that last rep, That builds up the myofibrils itself, the muscle fibers itself, which is made of the actin and the myosin. And when that gets thicker, that stays with you. That's where the power comes from. So when you work, nobody told me. I had to read it, study it. And I'm sharing it with you. No one told me about these things. Now, people would say you want to get some sunshine, but then what happened? When I was growing up, being in the sun was considered a good thing. Now, watch out for skin cancer, put on sunblock. Now people look at the sun as the enemy. That's impossible. I mean, the sun's got vitamin D, it's healing. If you look at every animal, they're sunbathing, they're sitting like this. Look at seals, they're like that. Cats, dogs all lay in the sun. Lizards, they're sitting like that in the sun. It's good for us. But now, if you're particularly sensitive in some ways, you may not want to be in the noonday sun, but the early sun, later in the day sun. Yeah. And then, of course, you need your vitamin D. No one ever said, hey, there's a massive deficiency in vitamin D. Massive. Below 30 in your blood work is deficient. But if you're normal, you have 30, 35 is normal, but optimal is 50 to 80. So if you have less than 50 in your blood work, you're going to have a shorter lifespan. So no one ever told us there's a difference between normal, so-called normal, and optimal. You don't want to be normal. You don't want to be normal. Believe me, you want to be optimal. So when it comes to vitamin D, you want it between 50 and 80 on your blood work. And by the way, you want to get your blood work about twice a year. You want to get it twice a year, even 3 times a year. You want to see what's going on because you get a baseline and you start seeing if something's getting a little screwy. Let me give you an example. PSA, an indicator of prostate cancer for you men. So if you have a PSA of 2, it's under 4, it's considered normal. Wrong. If a year ago it was 1 and now it's 2, it doubled in 1 year, you could be in trouble. So you got to know what it was and how much it went up. My PSA when I had prostate cancer was normal. But the doctor didn't keep track of did it go up or not. It was found because my doctor gave a digital exam, comes in through the rectum, feels the prostate, had a little lump on it. He said, you want to get that checked out. It's probably okay. Checked it out. Sure enough, it was prostate cancer. It was an intermediate amount and somewhat aggressive with a Gleason of 7. Got it out. 1 or 2 weeks later, my prostate was out. I want to get out before that thing spread. So you want to get your checkups. You want to get your blood work. You want to know what your estradiol level, whether you're a woman or a man. And certainly for men, you want to know your testosterone. Now, when I was 80 years old, my testosterone was 876, which is higher than the average 20-year-old. And I didn't take steroids. It was from the pomegranate juice, which is a miracle juice, broccoli, lifting heavy weights, olive oil. I mean, 876. Optimal is 600 to 900. So 876 is higher than the average 20-year-old. So when I'm saying things that get better with age, I'm serious. Now, the good thing about pomegranate juice, and nobody told you this, nobody told me this, it's good for your endothelial cells to keep the nitrous oxide coming out, which then dilates your blood vessels, good for your blood pressure, good for your cardiovascular system, but it also slows down the metastasis of prostate cancer or breast cancer cells and shrinks the tumors. Pomegranate juice, if you had a tumor, will shrink various tumors. I mean, there's a lot of research on that. So you might be drinking your pomegranate juice. You want to eat cooked tomatoes, which are healthier than regular tomatoes, uncooked, because it's releasing more of the lycopene, which fights cancer. And then you want to have cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli, also has anti-cancer properties. There's so many wonderful foods, but let me tell you, I don't want to exaggerate this. There are natural ways of living, which is the best way to go. But when you need the medications, let's say your blood sugar is going up. Let's say A1C is 5.7, 5.8, 6, 7, whatever. You're getting insulin resistance. you're more prone to cancer and heart attacks. You want to bring that down. You want to cut down your simple carbohydrates. You can have complex ones. You don't want a white potato or a sweet potato. You don't want white rice. You want brown rice. White rice, there's no difference between a fistful of white rice and a fistful of sugar. It turns into glycogen and your glucose in your arteries, in your system. Nobody told you that. Nobody told me that. Now, the natural way to bring down your blood sugar is very, very effective. It's an herb that's been around for thousands of years. It's called berberine. Berberine. 500 milligrams 3 times a day. Really good for you. Plus, it might help with the triglycerides as well. Fish oil 3 times a day will help with depression and bring down your triglycerides. You want to keep a good lipid profile. It's as important or more important than cholesterol. A wonder drug that's cheap, it's been around and well tested, is metformin. Metformin. It'll reduce insulin resistance, bring your blood sugar down, fasting glucose level down, your A1C down. And they found that it prevents various cancers, and it's known as a longevity drug. It'll activate the AMPK pathways of longevity. Now, resveratrol, which you can get from grapes, the skin of the grapes, resveratrol will activate the sirtuin circuit, which also activates the longevity pathways. Biophysitin will activate the longevity pathways. Quercetin will activate the longevity pathways. They're natural herbs that activate longevity pathways. Keep you alive longer. Particularly, let's say resveratrol keeps the telomeres longer. At the end of your chromosomes, you've got these little wrappings to keep it from unraveling. As that shortens, the telomeres shorten because your telomerase enzymes goes down. After a while, it gets so short that the cell won't duplicate anymore. But you can help reverse that or slow that down by having resveratrol. Wine has some in it, but you'd have to drink gallons of wine to get what you get out of one pill, resveratrol. There's so many natural herbs. Now, the thing that nobody told me, I don't think they knew it back then, but it's been here for a while, but you never heard about senolytics. See, you have senescent cells. After you're getting older, cells don't divide anymore. They're getting older. They're not dividing. They just stay there. Old, non-functional cells just sitting in your system, all over your body. They get pro-inflammatory molecules, inflammation, all diseases, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, all starts with inflammation. And so these senescent cells, cells that are in your body, will heighten your inflammation. So you can take senolytics. Biophysitin is one, but there's senolytics you can take that will help get that out of your body. You want to get the garbage out. Nobody told us how important the air is. Although they used to have like tuberculosis asylums in the mountains with good air, there's always a feeling that air matters. Sun matters, air matters. The air quality index, you can get an app for that. If it's above 50, it's moderate. If it gets above 100, it's dangerous. We have a lot of fires here. California, it goes up to 130, 120. You don't want to be out in that. I see people outside walking, running, and the AQI, the air quality index, is 100. If the air quality is not good that day, and you go out and exercise, you do more damage to yourself than you are doing good. You don't be running in that air. Air matters. It matters a lot. Know what the air quality index is. Hey, you can wait till you get emphysema, diabetes. You can wait till you have emphysema, asthma. Wait, because when air is bad, if you're out in it too much, it's like smoking a couple of packs a day. Air quality index. Gotta watch that. You gotta watch your water. You want to have water that's spring water is good. But, from Lake Arrowhead, there are different waters around. I'm not trying to promote any particular one. You can get the Kagan machine to make great water for you, the high pH value. There's many good ones. So I'm giving you a lot of information. And they never told you that thoughts matter. If you're getting a lot of negative thoughts, you're getting angry a lot, you're destroying your health, you're destroying the quality of your life, you're destroying your cardiovascular system. So I developed a whole system of thoughts based on the way of honor, and I've got many lectures and books on it, but right now I'm just going to say the thoughts you have can destroy you or give you life. As it is now, 80% of your thoughts are negative, and 95% repeat themselves. You're having a lot of negative thoughts. Nobody knows that. You're sitting there like this. Nobody knows. You're having negative thoughts. Same for me. But I've learned how to balance it with constructive, honorable thoughts. You can't fight the negative thoughts. Two types of thoughts. The one that pop into your mind but don't define who you are. It's based on your family upbringing, genetics, societal norms. Don't worry about that. You're not responsible for that. You can then balance it with a good thought. You're angry at somebody, you can go, I wish you well. You stop blaming somebody, you can say, well, I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. These are some of the commandments of honor. You want to know the 4 commandments of honor. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gave from hardship. And then one of 2 depends whether you believe in God or not. If you don't believe in God, it's I seek always to serve my highest values. If you do believe in God as I do, it's God, your wish is my only wish. So you ought to be doing that 3 times a day because the repetition is preparation for application to achieve internalization and stabilization. It will stabilize you, make you more resilient, and you come back with more wisdom and compassion when you do suffer. Remember, suffering as well as happiness are both fleeting, but honor is forever. Nobody told me this. I didn't study it in a class. Don't think I took a class in these things. I didn't. The knowledge came to me. Came to me to try to deal with myself and then share it with others. It's like my father said to me, son, I have a lot of good advice to give you, not because I've been so smart, just that I've been so stupid. So I made a lot of mistakes. I can help you avoid those. My stupidity, my 82 years of life, my education, all qualifies me to really help you. If you follow my guidance, you will be helped a lot. Well, a little summary. I'm going to open up for a little conversation because we have many, many wonderful people here in our audience, as well as you who are watching this. And I want to open it up and see if there's anything you would like to ask or say.
Well, I'm actually taking it all in and using it as good advice in my life to be a healthier person. I know oftentimes people don't really realize the importance of this until it's too late, but I can appreciate it. I'm at that stage in my life where I really can appreciate, all of the information. It's like warning signs, things to prevent you from having some additional challenges in life. So I'm taking it very seriously.
You've come into so much wisdom. You're such a well-traveled, educated person. I have a lot of admiration and respect for who you are. Thank you. Very much so. My beloved brother-in-law, John Shaw, passed away recently at 72 years of age. But before he died, he talked Farsi, so I had my wife translate. I said, what do you think is the most important thing in life? He said, love and health. Love and health. I think that's pretty universal. And he damaged his health. He was a smoker, so most people I know who died or almost died, we did it to ourselves. In his case, it was smoking. Mine was overeating. But everybody I know who passed away didn't have to go when they did. Most of you, you'll pass away sooner than you need to if you don't heed my advice.
Yes.
I mean, I wish I knew this or followed it when I was younger. I wouldn't have to be dealing with some of the issues I deal with now. Yeah. Okay. Who else would open up? I know we have such a good gathering of wonderful people. I want to see who else has something. But by the way,
I'll say something, Dr.
There
Nerenberg.
you go, Diana. Yes.
So I just want to say thank you for sharing with us your wisdom, your experiences, everything that you're telling us, the little tidbits, the knowledge, the do's and the don'ts. They really do help. They don't go in deaf ears. And I really appreciate you for sharing all of that, that even if we don't do it all, but even if we do just one of the many things that you have shared, it's going to go a long way. I've already started drinking pomegranate juice ever since you told me, eating more broccoli. I've gotten some of those vitamins. And I just want to say that thank you, like from the bottom of my heart. I really honestly do appreciate everything that you're telling us, because what you're doing is you're trying to prevent us of falling, because you've already gone through the road, you've tripped with the rock, and you're just trying to avoid us falling and tripping on that same rock. So again, just thank you for sharing.
No, thank you so much, Diana. I mean, I have nothing but respect and admiration for you as well. I know the person you are, deep, genuine human being. You know, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this with you, because that means my suffering, my mistakes, my stupidity, what I've done wrong or what I've done right in life is going to help you. So that's a great privilege to me to be able to share this with you. And if it has any benefit on you or your children or your loved ones, well, that's a great bounty, a great blessing for me to be able to do that. It gives meaning to my life and to the trials and tribulations that I've been through. So, you know, I'm so grateful. I'd like to hear who else has, everything you're saying is helping the other people. So these things you're saying, I want you to feel free to speak up, ask questions, make comments, because you'll be amazed how other people are going to benefit from what you say or ask.
Dr. Nerenberg?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you able to hear me?
I hear you perfectly well. Tell us your first name.
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Pleasure to meet.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet everybody. I'm glad everybody was able to make it. Dr. Nerenberg, first of all, I would like to give thanks to you for being such a specimen of what we can hope to be. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dr. Nerenberg. You're great. You're amazing. Thank you for your advice, just like everybody said. Thank you for making specific facts, not points, to everything you talk about. It really, just like our previous commentator said, everything helps. Everything helps the situation, to the attitude, to the food, to the recommendation of speaking out and speaking. Every point that you've made, I'm really appreciative of, and I can only try to hope to get you.
Let me tell you, Eduardo, thank you so much for that input. Thank you so much. Let me tell you a secret that people don't know. If you ask anybody, do you want to live? Do you want to have a long life? This, of course, I want to live as long as I can get around. I want to stay alive. Not true. It's just not true. You look at what people order in a restaurant to eat. Junk is killing them, and they know it. It's not an ignorance. They know. Look what they're putting in shopping carts in the supermarkets. Poison. Just poison. They're putting it there. Never look at what people, if they want to tell you they want to be healthy. Don't pay any attention to that. Look at how they live. Big difference. I remember seeing a guy, I was at a restaurant, we were talking, and he had diabetes, his blood sugar up to 300. That's deadly. And then they bring the food. I see they bring him these white pancakes, white flour, and he soaks it in syrup. And he had his kids sitting around, about 5 kids. And I said, hey, brother, I don't put my nose in your business. Didn't you just tell me you have diabetes? He says, yeah, I can't help it. It's too delicious. I can't help myself. But he ate it. He knew it was poison. He said he couldn't help himself. Later, his son came out and hugged me and said, thanks for trying to help my dad. It's not like people don't know. No, I didn't know milk caused prostate cancer. The China study, Dr. Campbell, came out years ago. I didn't know about that. I was raised on milk is really good for you. Well, it's good for your bones, good for muscles, but causes prostate cancer, causes breast cancer. Fluoridated toothpaste. Fluoride is really good for your teeth. Could cause Alzheimer's and cancer. So I mean, some of these things that are good for you, beef, a lot of protein. You eat too much of that, you get colon cancer. Plus it has a lot of saturated fat if you have too much, and you're going to get cardiovascular disease. So these things have some healthy benefit. I didn't know the damaging effect when I was young, but most people know about it now. So really, how much do you want to live? How much really? And it's not based on what you say now or what you tell your wife, your husband, your kids. What are you going to get to the supermarket? How often are you flipping people off when you're driving your car going to a road rage and damaging yourself? How much are you drinking? One study, even small amounts are known to cause cancer. I didn't know that. I didn't even know small amounts were dangerous. People who smoke know how dangerous that is. They smoke anyway. So I don't go by what anybody says. I go by, well, what are you doing with yourself? Now, we all know that a sedentary lifestyle is the new smoking. You got to get up, you got to move. Moving is very important. Moving around, exercising. Now, if you do weightlifting, you're not only building muscle, which is a longevity organ, but also you're building up your bones. That weight-bearing exercise will make your bones bigger and stronger. If you're doing cardio, it's really especially good for your cardiovascular system. You might be doing exercise at least 3 times a week, at least 20 minutes of workout. The important thing about working out is not how long you work out, is the consistency. 3 minutes a day is so far superior to 0. It's easier to go from 3 minutes a day of exercise to an hour than it is from 0 to 3 minutes. Why? The hardest part about getting in shape is getting started. You commit to 3 minutes, you'll do it. If you tell yourself you got to work out an hour, you go, heck, I don't have the time, I don't feel up to it. 3 minutes. Give you the tips so you can have that longevity. Exercise is key, movement is key. I want to open it up more.
I have a question.
Yes, Diana.
So you were saying that milk causes cancer. So that would be cow milk, I'm assuming, because I drink soy milk and almond milk.
Now, soy milk has other problems with it. It's very mixed reviews. Almond milk is a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the calcium protein that's in the cow's milk or in the goat's milk. That's the trigger for breast cancer and prostate cancer. Will help other people.
Doctor.
Yes. Tell us your first name.
Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base a little bit on what you said about people showing that they wanted to live and how important it was to them. Unfortunately, you know a little bit about my backstory. We had a few funerals to attend. Unfortunately, we've had some death in the family. And in going to the funerals, there was so much, everybody saying, well, when it's your time, you can't do anything about it. And so much self-destructive behavior at the funerals. People were going and just drinking and just, I'm sitting here looking, going, how is this, saying these people were so counterproductive of everything that, I'd never seen that. I'd never seen so much drinking at a funeral. And people are saying, oh, it's a celebration of life. It's a celebration that we're still here.
Well, you know what?
And
it's
I was
like
kind of beside myself.
Well, it's sort of like taking a 45 and shooting it. I just do it once in a while on special occasions, shoot myself with a 45 in the toe.
Yeah.
I mean, they poison their kids on birthdays by giving them this tons of sugar. So celebration of life is to remember the good that the person had, the good effect the person had on us. That's the celebration. What honor did the person bring? What love, what compassion? That's the celebration. Remember that. This thing of drinking, that idea of that's a celebration, that's a celebration of death. Drinking is a celebration of death. Smoking is a celebration of death. Eating sugar-laden foods like Twinkies, celebration of death. No celebration of life. People have it on their birthday, think it's celebrating that you were born, a celebration of life. It's a celebration of death. But I totally hear you, Andrea. That's so right on. So right on.
Yeah, it was disturbing to watch.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
seems
it's
very
true. When your
self-destructive.
time's up, it's up. It's going to be up even sooner when you're drinking like that, when you're smoking like that, when you're doing things to damage yourself. You're 100% right. Everybody I know of who died or almost died happened earlier than it should have,
Mhm.
without exception. So another thing, as you get older, you see people dying off, and so you have more of a sample of what people are dying of, and you see, generally speaking, you see the people accelerated their death process. I did. I mean, thank God I'm still here, because 14 years I've really been dedicated to staying alive. I say to people, seriously and jokingly, staying alive became a full-time job, became also a hobby. I can help others with it. Thank you for that input. So important. Who else would like to make a comment or a question? It's so good for everybody here. When I get feedback from these Zoom calls, I have people tell me, I look forward so much to the call. I love hearing what everybody else has to say. I feel less alone. There's such beautiful people. I feel part of a community. So really, by speaking up, you're helping a lot more people than you realize.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. It's Bernice.
Ah, Bernice, good to have you back.
Yeah, I know. I fell off for the last two sessions, but I'm glad to be back.
Good to have you back.
So I've always appreciated all the, information you've given us about health. I've never really gotten such great feedback and such care from, someone who has experience and who researches this diligently. And I really appreciate that. What do you suggest? Because you're so sharp. If I can be half as sharp as you are, when I'm
Bernice,
like
you're a very
60,
sharp young lady. Yeah.
Like, what do you take to or do you do crossword puzzles? Like, what do you do for your mind?
No, I don't do crossword puzzles, but although that's supposed to help keep you sharp or whatnot. One thing that adds to vitality in life is having serving your destiny, a passion that you're passionate about. So what I'm doing with you, this talk, meeting with you individually, that helps keep me younger and sharp. Let's look at it in terms of livelihood. A job is something you do from 9 to 5 to pay your bills. A career is a job you enjoy. A calling is a career you do for free if you could afford to. And a destiny is a calling you pay to do if you could afford to do it. So for me, this is a calling or a destiny. I would do it for free. I would pay to do it. So that's important. If you're involved really serving people, doing something that's meaningful in your life, and you're involved, that's going to help keep your mind sharp. Now, I could tell you supplements to help. PQQ is good, helps to keep a synaptic density in the brain. You want to keep a good oxygen supply. You want to take coenzyme Q10, which helps the oxygen transport into all your cells, including your brain cells. You want to take fish oil 3 times a day because it keeps your lipid profile down. Whatever keeps your blood vessels healthy, such as fish oil, is going to keep a good blood flow to your brain. And that's good for depression as well, the fish oil. Also lowers triglycerides, good for your lipid profile. Exercise increases the mitochondria density in the brain. The mitochondria is what burns the adenosine triphosphate, known as ATP for short. That's burning the mitochondria. That's the energy powerhouse of all your cells. Every cell has that mitochondria. So when you do exercise, cardiovascular exercise, weightlifting, it increases the density of mitochondrial, and you have more mitochondrial production. And so you want exercise as key to keeping that going high. So if you're doing your exercise, that'll be good for your brain. Then, of course, you always want to, at the time you want to get your carotid arteries checked to make sure you're not getting any kind of severe blood flow interference. You do an ultrasound and they can test that out. But I have about 30 to 50% blockage, so I'm okay. Now, what will take the plaque off your arteries, whether it's in your carotid arteries, in your brain, around your heart, is garlic. garlic. You could take it as garlic pills, aged garlic pills, kyolic garlic. You could eat the garlic, you could have it raw, or if you want to be able to eat it without the burn, microwave it for 30 seconds and eat it. It's soft like butter then, and it won't burn you. But garlic will actually take the plaque off the arteries, and that'll help your brain, it'll help your heart, it'll help your whole cardiovascular system. So those are some of the things that you want to do to stay sharp.
That's great advice, especially about the garlic, because I'll often, as I'm chopping it, I'll like sneak a piece, like I'll eat a piece, but it stings, but I deal with the sting. But to microwave it, that's a great idea.
You microwave it, there's no sting. You can need about 30 seconds to take the sting out. And also you can take kyolic pills. It has the allicin in it. That's the key ingredient that has these beneficial effects. So I take kyolic garlic. I take it as a pill as well. Also, there's another garlic that doesn't have a sting to it. It's black garlic. The Japanese have it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, black garlic is delicious. It's sweet, no sting, and it's garlic.
Yeah. I love it in soup. You can buy it at Trader Joe's.
Oh, they have kyolic garlic? They have that black garlic at Trader Joe's? Wow. Okay.
They do. It's like minced. It's like kind of you shake it out of a bottle.
I ordered online, but that's good to know. Yeah. Now, the other thing you want to have is you want to increase your probiotics like kefir, yogurt. You could have kimchi, sauerkraut, fermented foods, because what's going on in your gut, we're not alone. We've got billions and billions of little healthy microorganisms living within us. There's some that you can take probiotics that are good for your gut, for your brain, for your heart, for your oral, for your mouth, for your throat, for the liver. Each one's a little different type of bug. You have the acidophilus, you have the bifidus. You've got all kinds. You've got about 160 different bacteria that are healthy for you. When you're taking antibiotics, it kills off all the bacteria, including your good ones. You want to make sure you're getting healthy probiotics. You can take it as pills and then take these foods that I just mentioned. That's really good for your emotions, good for your heart, good for all your organs. The other thing, the Chinese have developed a very extensive system of Qigong that you can tap different spots to help keep your organs healthy. You want to take good care of your organs. For instance, you're tapping here on your chest. That helps open up the heart. You're tapping in the back here. It's good for the kidneys. You hit over here. That will activate the thymus gland, which is part of your immune system. So as you take probiotics, as you do these tappings, you follow the Qigong method. Chinese have developed an extensive system. And by the way, I have a video called Dr. Nerenberg's 80th birthday message. I show the Qigong method that I use, the stretching, the weightlifting, the cardiovascular work, some of the supplements I take, 5 rights of Tibetan yoga. I show it all on my 80th birthday, called Dr. Nerenberg's 80th birthday message, in the health and fitness section on the honortherapy.com that you subscribe to. Yeah, that's all going to help you.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, that's a good workout system.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Now, see, in Western medicine, we don't talk about the meridians, the energy lines. If they get blocked, it causes diseases. In India, the 5 rights of Tibetan yoga, which is from Tibet, they talk about the 7 chakras that are energy centers. So you do these exercises to release and energize the chakra energy centers. I do these things. Can I tell you I feel great after doing them? I can't say that. I do so many things. Something's working, but I don't know which things are helping more than others. I don't know. I'm just doing them all. I mean, it would be tragic to disregard thousands of years of yoga development in India. Tragic to ignore all the Qigong work in China. They have in China hospitals with no surgeries, no drugs, just the Qigong. And they cure cancer, they cure all kinds of things with Qigong. So you want to take advantage of what we can learn from our Chinese brothers and sisters, from our Indian brothers and sisters, and certainly what we know from herbs all over the world. Many of my people from Mexico. Great knowledge and herbs that come from Mexico. Each place has its own indigenous plants that are tremendously curative and healthy for you.
Definitely, yeah, I can agree with that. My dad, he has all kinds of like knowledge about, and he talks to other people. He communicates with other people that have this medicinal information. He's constantly like passing it down to me, and wow. I'm gonna have to sit down with him and actually have him like spell everything out.
Record it. And by the way, whatever you eat in life, make sure you're eating a lot of plants. I'm not saying don't eat meats. I'm not saying that, but just make sure you're getting a lot of plants, particularly green vegetables, every day. And then if you whatever else you want to do, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you want a good, strong foundation of plants. By the way, I only started doing it the last 14 years. I never ate vegetables. I didn't like them. Then I started committing to staying alive. I started eating my vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah, leafy greens make a big difference with me. I can feel it.
Well, some people are vegan like yourself, which I respect, but make sure if you're doing that, you're getting B12 supplements, because you're not going to get B12 from any other source other than animal products. So make sure you're getting B12 supplements, and you're probably going to need some amino acids that you can't get from a plant. You want to be sure you're getting proper supplementation. And you want to make sure you're getting omega-3s. You can get them from plants, although there's some question whether it's bioavailable as much as it is from the animals. As for me, I'll eat egg whites. I like the yolks, very healthy, but it raises my triglycerides, so I stick with the whites. Yeah, you want your amino acids. You want your B12 to supplement if you're going vegan, which I know you are, and I respect that, because out of your love for animals, I totally respect it. Yeah, you can, and if you can get your omegas also, particularly from walnuts. Walnuts, of the nuts, walnuts and almonds are the healthiest, but the most omega-3 fatty acids, it's walnuts. Almonds have a lot of protein and other benefits, but walnuts should be a part of your diet if you want to get your omega-3s, and you need that for your brain and for all your cells in your body, particularly your brain, omega-3 fatty acids.
I love cashews. Are those pretty helpful with the omega?
It's not one of the top ones. It's good for, I love cashews. I really love them.
Very fatty.
It's got healthy benefits, but it's not one of the top ones. The two top ones are walnuts and almonds. Now, selenium also fights cancer. You can take a pill like I do with selenium in it, but you can also get it from Brazil nuts. But that has a lot of calories. The nuts are highly caloric. If you're thin the way you are, Bernice, that's okay. But for a lot of people, too many nuts is going to get them fat. But Brazil nuts have selenium in it, and that helps both the thyroid gland and fight off different cancers.
Oh, that's great. Selenium, you said?
Selenium, yes.
Okay, great.
By the way, Life Extension has a lot of good supplements. That's the one that I feel they're very genuine, the best products, well-researched, and they have books talking about the natural way and the allopathic way, and getting a balance of both.
That's Life Extension, right? That you're speaking of? Life
Extension, highly recommend it.
You know what? I still have a D-ribosome that I'm unsure how to use.
Well, D-ribose, you just take it. It's a nice sweet 5-carbon sugar. Just take it straight, 5 grams, 3 times a day. It helps to increase the adenosine triphosphate, the ATP, to be burned in the mitochondria of your cells. You have about 9 grams of ATP in your body, but you use it up about every 30 seconds. So one of the components of ATP is ribose. So when you take a supplementary form, it'll help keep you energized throughout the day.
Okay, yeah. You know, I'm not into sweet. Like, I love vegetables and stuff. So, like, I have to add it to, like, a tea or something like that. It's, like, too sweet on its own.
Put it in a tea. I love sweet, so I just take it straight. I enjoy it.
Mangoes are too sweet for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bernice, I'm so glad you're commenting and asking these questions. So glad, really.
Well, you're a well of information, and I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you. And I'm grateful for you. And like I say, staying alive is a full-time job. The beautiful thing is I'm able to help young people like you, so you don't have to destroy yourself if you don't want to. People have the knowledge and still destroy themselves, but you have the knowledge.
Yeah, it's a choice.
It's a choice. To some extent, death is a choice. You can live a lot longer. The human body is geared to live to 120 if we don't destroy ourselves. They say the child is born today. Given what we know, the child is born today that will live to 150. Now,
It's crazy.
yeah,
to
the
think
body's good
about.
for 120. I've never personally met anybody 100. I see it on YouTube, Facebook. I've never met one. In this country, you don't see many. My godson, one of my godsons, he was in Mexico on the farm. He said, on the ranches, and he met a woman that was 124. I mean, if you're living a natural life, whatever, and you're active and you're eating those really good foods, you know, it's doable. But
That's crazy.
yeah, but we don't destroy ourselves. We can have long, healthy, productive lives.
For sure. And I've been berated by people, like, why do you want to be so healthy? You're vegetarian, like, we're all going to die anyways. But, at least I can choose the state I'm in, that I can be the healthiest.
Let me
that
tell
I
you,
can be.
when people say we're all going to die anyhow, it appears to be correct. But how you die matters. How you die matters. I tell people, yeah, but you're smoking. You say you want to enjoy life, but you're smoking. You're not. If you stroke out, you become like a vegetable. You're not going to like dying that way. Plus, if you don't take care of yourself, that's not honorable. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to become a burden. You're going to become a burden to your spouse, to your children, your grandchildren, because they're going to have to carry you around. You're not going to be able to walk. They're going to have to do everything for you. So it's very dishonorable to do that to your family. If you're taking care of yourself and you die, well, you did everything you could. You lived honorably. But if you're doing things you know damaging you, it's dishonorable because you're heightening, you're speeding up how quickly you can become a burden to those you love. It's not right to do that to them. It's not right. It's wrong.
That's a good point. It's selfish to
yeah, you don't care about
choose.
yourself. You say, I want to enjoy my life. We all got to die of something, but you don't have to make everybody around you miserable. And then you're gonna go to the hospital. We can hardly accommodate everybody. The insurance rates go up. From the supermarket
it
to the
impacts more
hospital.
than just you.
Yeah, you really need to think of
Yeah.
who this can impact when you have a stroke, a heart attack, cancer. Who is it impacting? Your loved ones who care about you. I mean, when you die, that's great. We go on. The next life is far superior to this life, but we're leaving loved ones behind who are going to mourn for us, and miss us, and an emptiness, a hole in their life. It's not right.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to speed that up. Thank you, Bernice. It's wonderful to hear from you. And you always inspire me to add more. Thank you. Well, it's been my pleasure, my privilege to present to you what they didn't tell us about getting older, dedicated to Pete Pizzagatti.